When a woman who's willing to love you and forgive you regardless, and you're still lying.
I think pretty.
Can I quickly say something?
Yes.
What about
Ooh, you're so lying. Bahal, you're still lying. Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Listen, we're back to the singing. Don't play with me now. Look, can I be honest with you? The most dangerous thing about Bahal is the fact that he continuously keeps on lying unrepentantly and without any remorse, it seems like, right? And also because he doesn't need to lie. His girl already forgave him and he should have just told her the truth. But the reality is, the most interesting thing I think for him is that he will do this again because he already cheated in the relationship, didn't tell her onto the show, and then has now cheated on the show and did not tell Nancy what she could do to make it better. But suddenly they're in a better place. And now she's pregnant. Man, my bicycle looks good. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, nothing's going to change, it seems like. Now, there is a bigger chance of him staying the way he is than the risk of him actually changing. That's my biggest issue that I have with Bohale and Nancy's situation, right? Because in this situation, it took Mia to come out and expose him for all that she did. And I would go over it, but it's a bit graphic. You know what I mean? Like, she's talking about blow jobs. She's talking about, gun fingers. She's talking about before it got to the sex part. And even the sex part, she said, we only had sex for a few seconds because you were busting early. I said, damn. You didn't have to do that. Okay, stop playing. But no, I was like, this is really unfortunate, right? Because in all of that information that he did not expose, what he actually did is that he re-traumatized his girl. And it's a real thing now, right? In all that he did, he re-traumatized his girl. And it brought me to tears watching Nancy because I remember a situation very similar to that, right? Where someone did the exact same thing to me where they kept on lying over and over again. And in that process, the damage that was done was not one lie, but it was continuous lying where I had given them grace and a safe zone to explain all that had happened. And it was over a period of weeks that I saw that. And what was really disheartening and also destructive and also causing distance emotion between myself and that person is that you just never knew when the next lie was coming. At any point, you could be lied to. And I think that in itself was the most painful thing. And I think for myself, that is going to affect her relationship with him more than likely. Right? That's going to be a bigger issue that's going to affect them more than likely, because what we're going to see is that how do I trust what you say to me after this? Because this thing, I gave you grace, I gave you space, I said come clean, you didn't, you waited a whole year, you've embarrassed me on TV already, now the girls come out and also now freed more information about what actually happened. So it wasn't just a one-time thing, because you tried to market it, because remember, he's a marketer. Oh, let's not go there. Remember, he's a marketer, so he marketed the lying and the ingenuity and the bad behavior as it was a moment. I flopped. I made a mistake. This is on me. I was silly. He made it that way, but in reality, it never was that way. In reality, you gradually progressed into a place where you were sexual with this woman up until the point where you had sex with her. So marketing it like it was a one moment, I had a crazy moment, was ludicrous, right? And I was only in there for 3 seconds. No, brother, you bust a nut, and you were, and then she wants to get a plan B. That part was crazy, baby. That part was even more mad. I don't know if I can get a clip for you guys. That part was even more crazy.
Wait, what? You can use protection. If it is a thing, I'm a very fertile person. I would have to ask somebody for a plan B in the morning, just to be.
Now, I've been there before, bro. When you're dealing with a fertile woman, you got to be very careful, my guy. Now, look, the reality situation is I'm not trying to make it worse than it actually is. My thing is this, right? It was all consensual. Again, they kept on asking, it's all consensual. Everything was consensual, right? The issue isn't the sex. It's no longer just the cheating or even just the sex that he had. The issue is the lying that happens after. People like him, of course, the reason why you lie is because it's shame, it's guilt, it is fear, it is a fear of consequences. But really and truly, more times people are lying because they don't believe that you can handle the truth. They feel that if they were to hear that truth that you're about to tell them, if you knew what they knew, they believe that if you knew everything they were doing, Now, if you've cheated before or been cheated with, you know that if everything they told a person, that person probably wouldn't want to be there anymore. So they try to market the story in a particular way so that the other person doesn't get hurt or offended. But in reality, what you're really saying is, I just don't think you can handle the truth. And I'm going to decide whether you can handle it or not. Now, of course, in this situation, it actually impedes their relationship because actually there was a woman who knew more about the situation than his actual woman did. And she now has had a leg up. Now, fair play to Nancy. She came and apologized to Mia, and Mia also apologized to Nancy. Fair play. You know what I'm saying to you? Fair freaking play. But a brother was lying like it was nothing that was happening.
And now I have a desire to connect with you. I do want to touch you, right? I do want to feel you. I want to hug you and cuddle you without finding myself being at.
Now, the question really is whether he was lying or whether he just really wanted to just have sex and was saying all the right things to her. I think there's a bit of both. I think when I was in Egypt and I played around, and you can be in a place where you really do want to touch somebody, love on them, care about them, but there's a selfishness in that connection. You want that connection when you want the connection. And I think there's a part that is what we're seeing here with Bohale as well. There's a selfishness in the connection. The connection is about him having a connection with you, but you not having a connection with him. Now, what does that mean? It means I want the connection at the liberty of me wanting it when I want it, so I can control it, so I can exit when I want to exit. I want to stay in it when I want to stay in it. I want to have sex when I want to have sex. There's a selfishness in a lot of us, not just with men, but in men and women when we do these type of behaviors, where we want something on our time and on our dime and when we want it to be. And so what that does is that it creates this fake illusion of wanting, but it actually leads to manipulation. And that's why Bahale here has been called out. And really and truly, he's talking about his ex-wife, going back to Nancy. So what he does is he has sex, he satisfies his urge for a little while, goes back into the loving, stable relationship that he has emotionally. What does that tell you? It tells you this, that emotionally, he does not connect with Nancy the way he needs to. Sex is an emotional thing. It's not physical. It's not just physical, sorry. It's an emotional thing. So when you connect with somebody to have sex with them, of course, in most cases, if it's a one-night stand, then yes. But in most cases, when people end up cheating on their partners to sleep with somebody, there's an emotional connection that's there, both on men and women. Men tend to emotionally connect, but they don't chalk it up to being emotional. It's like, oh, my balls. No, you got emotionally attached, my dog, right? You wanted to make sure it was a safe place for you to land. You made sure it was cool before you went there. It's emotional. There's something that she does to you that makes you feel good. And it's not just the sex. It's the way she empowers you, the way she speaks to you, the fact there's no pressure, the way that she doesn't criticize you, doesn't judge you, the way that she can uplift you, the way that she buys something for you or does something for you, and you feel it, and it's different to what your partner gives you. But you go back to the safety and the sanctity of your relationship because that's what you know and it's familiar. And that's also safe because you know what control that you have in that relationship, but there's no passion. There's no fire. Yeah, that's what's missing. And clearly has always been missing for him because in reality, he was cheating before. And who knows how many times he cheated in that relationship because we didn't ask it, right? We did not ask it.
I do want to apologize for that because that's where I'm going with this. Okay. You speak about a BJ that happened in a bathroom session.
Yes.
And I'm telling you to do a thing, right? You leaned in.
No,
right?
I did not.
No, listen, but that's the thing. I'm not trying to.
No, I think what he's trying to say is that, we're both part of the situation, but it didn't really matter whether we were both part of the situation or not, right? The brother ended up not being honest about his set of behaviors. Now, obviously, Nancy, obviously, in the end,
and I want to be there for him, like always. So, she created that bond, the heavy bond.
So you're not upset about what happened at this point. You're upset at the fact that I wish you just told me the truth because you would have forgiven him anyway.
Which I totally get. I mean, I can't lie to you because she already accepted that he cheated. So I do understand that. But you definitely are not going to get away from the consequences of when someone lies and lies again, the impact of how that's going to stop you from trusting in them. Now, I knew she was pregnant because she was holding her belly in a particular way on the show, right? And the way she was sitting there, she was holding her underneath her belly. That's when I said she's pregnant. So I already knew they were going to tell me they were pregnant, right? Now, when a woman gets pregnant like this, and in the midst of a storm like this, she doesn't want to be abandoned. She may do things that are contrary to doing what we will call the right thing to do because of the simple fact they don't want to be left alone and being vulnerable. Okay.
I love you. I want to be with you. I want us to fix this. I want us to work on this, and we've been doing that.
We see it. We all see it. Bohale, I think everyone here sees that.
They said they've been working on it, and I don't know what they see because I haven't seen it, so I don't know what they're talking about. But they said they see it, right? That he's changed. Now, of course, they have their own situation that they want to present.
Do you see marriage and children in the future for you and Bohale?
Yes, I do.
Now she's laughing, and they're laughing because she is pregnant. We're getting pregnant. Listen, in this scenario, right? And I'm not trying to put my Christian ordeals on certain things, right? But on this scenario, her getting pregnant before they got married is crazy work. And that's how you get trapped. Because now you have to deal with him forever. Just saying. Right? It's crazy work. And we all can get, when you are in a state of delusion and when you are not thinking straight and when you care more about being married or care about having a child or care about everything else but you first, you tend to make decisions like this. I know, I've been there, so I know. When you are so considerate of other people's feelings, when you're considerate of other things apart from yourself being first, you want that thing more than you want yourself to be loved, cared for appropriately. This behavior always happens because you don't put yourself first. You put the thing that you want first. And that's an issue. And that's how we get into these scenarios where we're now pregnant and we're not committed.
Yeah.
Okay. Shortly after, I found out that my woman is with child.
Who's with child now?
Nancy, asshole.
What's going on?
So wait, Bohale,
Who's with child? He said my woman, not the. He didn't even say her name. He said, I found out my woman is with child. Now, the reason why I say that is because earlier on in the episode, the biggest issue that Nancy was actually facing is the fact that, hold on, let me go back because they spent a good 30 minutes on these people. Let me go back. The biggest issue that they're facing is that she's not a whole person herself.
What that does is that consistency is based on what you want and anything.
it shows what you're not.
You need to remember that you must follow through and get it done.
The moment I start a conversation and say, Bohale, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're against it, and you react differently in a way that I'm not going to support that.
So his support for her is based upon, again, I love what Naledi said actually, because it broke down really well. His support for her is based upon his own vision, right? Does it line up with what he wants to do? Which is what she spoke about in the beginning of the season, right? She spoke about this, the fact that he does things for what he wants to do it for. And we're still there. So that hasn't changed. So sis, why are we still there? It hasn't changed. So why are we still there? Listen, I gotta go. I think I've said enough. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of Bahale and Nancy's situation? Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you.